I spend way too much time doom scrolling, and a lot of people feel the same way. How much do you think you spend doom scrolling each day?
Probably 2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Probably like 6 to 8 hours.
It can be up to like 9 since I'm in bed.
Yeah. So I doom scrolled for 7 hours, then immediately locked myself in a dark room.
I don't know why this is so hard. It feels like something I'm pushing for instead of just living through.
I don't think you realize how much of an impact that much doom scrolling has on the brain. And neither did I. In order to find out, I interviewed Gary Goody, a psychology professor and TEDx speaker.
Doom scrolling increases anxiety, increases depression, increases loneliness. As we become more and more conditioned to that, it will have serious long-term detrimental effects.
I feel like this is gonna be a little awkward.
1 hour counting down.
Just feel my heart beating, and the thoughts that keep popping in my mind are just negative thoughts. There's just not a lot of times where we get to choose to just sit down and just think and just exist, because it's like we're always going, moving.
Most researchers, when they research doom scrolling, the researchers define it as being obsessed, yes, but by really seeking out negative information.
I'm just thinking a lot about doing instead of just settling in. It's just, my mind is just, I still want to go on a run today. I'm thinking about how I'm going to edit this video. It's only been 12 minutes, and I don't know why the thought of there still being 48 more minutes makes me feel so anxious. I don't know why sitting in silence makes me feel anxious. The first thing I always try to do is just scroll or distract myself and not sit and think through these things and sit through these thoughts of anxiety and anxious. I just get so overwhelmed thinking about stuff. This is hard. Man. It's just hard for me to sit. This really forces me to confront my thoughts. It feels like something I'm pushing for instead of just living through.
We are, I think, not living in the way that human beings are naturally intended to live. I think embracing solitude is almost like ancient history.
I think something that I'm realizing is that we have more time than we think. Because if this is an hour, how much is 24 hours in a day? And how are we using that time? Are we wasting it just scrolling, or are we making the most out of our days?
The term flow has really become a big part of our cultural consciousness, called being in the zone. And the term was coined by my mentor, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is this experience where you're completely absorbed in something that you love. It's not only a great feeling, but it's what really contributes to our feeling intrinsically motivated. But a big distinction between social media use, doom scrolling in particular, is anti-flow.
I just want to sit still. Please.
When you're in social media, when you're doom scrolling, you've given that up. You've surrendered your control to the advertisers, to Meta, to whoever is capturing your attention, buying your attention. It's no longer you being in control.
That light is getting super bright. It's starting to get me a little annoyed. So this hour feels like an eternity. Did the camera just die? Oh my gosh. No, it's still filming. Man, I just want to get better at this. I want to get better at just sitting in my thoughts. Like, this low-key feels like a punishment instead of like rest. Oh man, I'm just gonna walk around for a second. Time feels like forever when you're not doing anything.
We live in a culture that has us stimulated every which way. And the sad thing is, knowing that doesn't seem to help people do anything to make any changes in their lives.
Even the thought of I have wasted an hour is popping in my mind right now.
One of the problems in our culture, we are afraid to be bored. Boredom used to be seen as having some redemptive value. social media is doing everything to keep us hooked and capitalizing upon the release of dopamine, so that's become a very bad thing. They are so uncomfortable with boredom for a minute.
What's the point of boredom?
When that's the case, we are no longer at a point in our lives where we're feeling that we can just be present with whatever the experience is. Every second of our time has got to be occupied with something external to ourselves, rather than simply being present with whatever situation we're in at the time.
Look, I don't even know what I want to do after I'm done with this. I think it's kind of sad that I can't just sit still. That sitting still is a challenge.
I'm okay with solitude. In fact, I can find solitude, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, or maybe even half a day, that can really help me ground myself.
When I don't process what I'm thinking, those thoughts get really cloudy, they get in my mind. But when I sit down, like, I realize like how much energy I have, and I'm a little more grateful. I just feel gratitude. Because like right now in this moment, I feel gratitude.
Think some things through and maybe even do some journaling, but be okay with solitude, and that contributing to feeling more clear-minded.
I think over time it'll get easier and easier to be able to embrace stillness. I think it's something that you need to train. Obviously, if you're flooded with dopamine all the time, boredom's gonna feel like prison. There it is. That's an hour. Wow. Man, that was way harder than I thought it would be. All right, that's done. That was way harder than I thought that would be. I definitely need to train myself to be still.
So, what are 3 things that I took away from this challenge? 1, I spend way too much time doom scrolling. 2, I should be able to sit in silence. And 3, psychology professors are way smarter than me.
Listen to his advice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I need to take the advice, dude.